Hi, my name is Chris Dooley. I'm a subject matter expert on parrot scams, and I'm an admin on several Facebook parrot groups.
And I'm Kit. Most of you guys know me from Parrot Parade Aviary, but I'm also marketing director for Endless Tweets.
And this is going to be questions with Dooley and Crawford.
So let's get to it. Unfortunately, one of the most common issues we see posted publicly is about people getting taken for their money.
It's very common. I mean, if you're on Facebook right now and you put in parrots for adoption, you might get 100 results. I'm telling you right now, 98% of those are scams. They're fake pages. If you're going to be buying parrots on Facebook, or if you think you're going to be buying parrots on Facebook, you need to research parrot scams first. We're going to go through a couple of things you can look for that instantly tell you that what you're talking about is a scam. And the first one is international sales. I mean, being a breeder, what are your chances of buying a bird from outside the country?
Absolutely zero. We actually, here in the US, the laws may be different in other parts of the world, but they actually stopped international imports on parrots in 1993 after the act in 92. And so absolutely no one can just ship you a bird from outside the country. It requires so much paperwork and quarantine and cost that it can't be done.
Yeah, and that's one of the first things you'll see is people from other countries promising you a parrot, and it's just not a real thing. We always tell people to try to find the parrot locally if you can. Try to meet the person in person if you can. It'll save you a lot of heartache. But definitely, if you see a page that's offering international, worldwide shipping of parrots, that's the first red flag you can look at. Hey, the next thing we have on our list here is egg sales. You're a breeder. How many eggs can I buy from you?
Absolutely none. Because parrot eggs, they are few and far between. Unfortunately, for all of us, parrots are not like chickens that just lay and lay and lay. If we're lucky, we might get 3 to 5 eggs a year on these big, expensive birds. And more often than not, only half of them are viable.
So you're telling me that you only get 3 to 5 eggs. Does that mean you'll sell me an African gray egg for like $100, $200? What's the African gray egg worth? Is it less than the price of just a baby African gray?
Absolutely not. There's no way that anyone would sell you an egg for less than a chick, because when your parent birds are raising their chicks, all you have to do is feed them, water them, and leave them alone. You just wait for them to do what nature has designed them to do. So why on earth would I sell it to you for $100 when if I just wait for the chick to be born,
it's worth a lot.
It's worth several $1,000s.
So that brings us to the next thing, which is pricing. How do you know the price range for a parrot?
It's really hard if you try and just Google it, because you're going to get all of these fake websites, because unfortunately, just like Facebook, there are scams everywhere online. And so they put on these fake websites that you can buy one for like $500. And it's just not true. One of the most common resources that we use just to check the general market value is birdbreeders.com. It doesn't necessarily always give you a place to buy one, but it'll kind of show you what they've been selling for recently. Right now, it is the end of July 2023, and this year, baby African grays seem to be going in the $5,000 to $6,000 range, depending on what part of the country you're in.
So one of the reasons we're redoing this video, because we had an early video, which that video was filmed 2 years ago.
Almost 3 years ago, actually.
The price 3 years ago was in the $4,000 range. So if you're watching this in 2026 or 2027, that price could have gone up by another $1,000. So it's very important when you're looking for parrots on Facebook, if you're trying to bargain hunt and saying, well, I know that the general price is this amount, but look, I'm seeing all these ads for this lower amount. It would be the equivalent of trying to find a cheap new Corvette. I mean, if your car has a certain value, it's the book value of that car, and no one really wants to sell a car for cheaper. It's the exact same thing with parrots in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
There is a market, it drives the price, it's about supply and demand. There just aren't very many breeders producing gray parrots.
Nope.
Because of the lack of supply and the huge demand, the price keeps shooting up. There's very little we can do about that. But if you're researching prices, one of the early indications that you might be talking to a scammer is low prices. You have to do your research. If you're seeing things about international sales, if you're seeing things about egg sales, or if you're seeing prices like $100 to $500,
if it's more than like 20% below what looks like normal, then you should assume it's a scam, especially if we're talking about baby birds. Adult birds are in a completely different price category, but most of the people looking for their first bird are looking for a baby bird the same way that you'd look for a puppy.
I think that's some great things that will help people. I hope those help you. Be sure to do your research, especially your research about parrot scams. And this was answering some questions with Dooley and Crawford.